we understand this shooter had writings against blacks, had writings against Jews, even writing against Donald Trump. None of that defines the fact that someone this sick, that on the first day of school doing mass, they weren't even in class, they were in a religious practice, decided he's going to shoot innocent kids. How do we stop this and force Republicans and Democrats to deal with this? This is a civilization crisis.
Yeah, well, he's right about the last part, but it was the third day of school, not the first day of school. On the attacks on Catholic churches and children, well, the Reverend Al supports the organ harvest of 1 million unborn children a year in the name of his version of Christianity. But that's kind of an MS-13 NBC version of Christianity. It's not real. Bad. A very good Thursday to you and welcome back. We are today, as we were yesterday, reachable at 888-630-9625. There is a great deal to talk about having to do with the mass shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota yesterday while we were on the air. And we've learned a lot about the tranny, transgender, mentally ill psychopath raised and weaned by the Democrat Party who decided to attack a Catholic school, a Catholic church, on the third, not first day of school. And they were at Mass, and during the Mass, the psycho tranny showed up with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol and opened fire through the stained glass windows into the Catholic church, killing 2 children, wounding 17 more people, including 14 kids, school children, and 3 adults, all of whom were in their 80s. And the psychopath killed himself, perhaps graciously, perhaps not. Now, I've got a lot that I want to share with you, and I want to start, and I do want to jump right in today. I want to start with Morning Joke this morning, Morning Joke, because Morning Joke invited on the left-wing radical Democrat who's not just a Democrat left-winger. He belongs to this crazy Minnesota Democrat Farmer Labor Party. They're effectively communists. And this guy, Jacob Fry, is one of these Minnesota Democrat Farmer Labor Party people, as are some other radical left-wingers that you're aware of in Democrat Party politics. Aren't they amazing? And the good people, the New York Post, with the headline, Minneapolis Mayor Uses Catholic School Shooting Presser to Speak Out on Transgender Rights and against the Second Amendment, because that's what they do. The gunman identified as trans, that is to say, transgender. Trans doesn't mean transgender. Transgender means transgender. We should use our words properly, even at the New York Post and the headline. Honestly, the New York Times, a traumatized Minneapolis confronts another tragedy, another transgender mass shooting, and there have been a great many of those because it turns out there's a mental illness that is associated with transgenderism, and it very frequently becomes very violent. Isn't that amazing? Left-wingers, MAGA loses it. This is the left-wing New Republic. MAGA loses it, not true, after Minneapolis mayor's emotional speech on shooting. MAGA after the emotional speech from the mayor. And honestly, this guy and these people, our media. All right, I want to get to because they invited this idiot mayor, this radical left-wing mayor, Jacob Fry, on to Morning Joke this morning, where Mika was there, one of, can't say safely the dumbest anchor woman on television, but she is in the running, that's for sure. And Mika invited on Jacob Fry of the crazy left Minnesota party, who attacked people for suggesting that you pray in the immediate aftermath. The Democrats immediately politicized it And so we got to ban guns. This doesn't happen in Sweden, except for that, 65 people murdered at the camp in Sweden thing. But never mind that. And the mass shooting there. Never mind that. And wars, World War I and World War II, you have a lot of things. But never mind that. Mika had Jacob Fry on this morning, and she played a clip of him saying prayer is stupid when people are shot at a Catholic church while children, the kids, are in mass praying. And Republicans like J.D. Vance suggested, prayers. And the Democrats immediately attacked J.D. Vance, attacked prayers, advocated after-school Satan Club, which they literally do. And this is what it sounded like on Morning Joke.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying.
That was Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, who joins us now. Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us. I totally agree with you.
Totally agree with you in what? He didn't say anything intelligible. They were literally praying when a godless transgender leftist who hates Israel, hates Jews, said 6 million Jews killed in the Holocaust is not enough, killed Donald Trump. This is what the Democrat Party teaches. Transgenderism, anti-Israel, anti-Semitism, anti-Donald Trump. And the news media jumps in and they sigh and say, oh, I agree with you completely. Prayer is stupid when children are gunned down at a Catholic mass at a Catholic school by a transgender leftist who was raised by the Democrat Party to hate the Jews, hate Israel, hate Donald Trump, and want to kill everyone, as the Democrats so frequently advocate. Donald Trump was shot last year, was almost shot a second time at his golf course in Florida by another Democrat. The Democrats showed up with a rifle at a baseball field in Alexandria, shot Congressman Steve Scalise. James Hodgkinson, the suicide-attacking killer, was a Bernie Sanders presidential campaign volunteer. You guys need to stop shooting people. How about that? You guys stop shooting people and we will be Sweden, okay? In Chicago, in Washington, D.C., in Baltimore, in New York, across the country, you guys stop shooting people. I'd like to see the Democrat leadership. I'd like to see the Republican leadership. I think J.D. Vance should come out and call on Democrats to stop shooting people. How about that? So that's Mika leading in with the, I agree. Yeah, they were praying. You're right. And then J.D. Vance suggested prayers for the dead and the wounded. And the Democrats immediately started attacking prayer because Satan. All right, so then we go to Mayor Jacob Fry, who's on Morning Joke, MS-13 DNC this morning.
What happened was obviously an unspeakable tragedy, but how many times have you heard politicians say exactly that and then nothing changes?
Then nothing changes.
Thoughts and prayers, they are certainly welcome, but they are not enough.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers are certainly, but you mocked them and ridiculed them yesterday while you were quaking with rage, as these lefties so often do. Yeah, thoughts and prayers. Now, you can dismiss someone saying thoughts and prayers as a platitude. Fine, but then what? Now you want to ban the Second Amendment, gather up everybody's guns, become North Korea, because that's their real wish. You know, the difference between socialism and communism is 5 years. And as Vladimir Lenin said, the Bolshevik revolutionary, so admired by Bernie Sanders, he said, the goal of socialism is communism. And you should keep that in mind at all times. What are the Democrats doing in the meantime? Well, in California, the legislation, the state house there, they passed a bill to take children away from parents that don't affirm their kids' new gender identity, because the Democrat Party is pushing, selling, peddling, promoting gender confusion, gender dysphoria, transgenderism, which has led to more mass shootings in the United States in the last 5 years alone than radical Islam has created in the United States the last 5 years. That is an actual fact. Now, talking to Mayor Jacob Fry, and I was, oh, sure, they say thoughts and prayers, then nothing changes. Well, I think Democrats shouldn't be allowed to own guns. And if you're a tranny, that's a sign of mental illness, and you shouldn't be allowed to own guns. If you shouldn't be allowed to go out and buy guns legally if you're a tranny. The pattern that has emerged here in city after city, instance after instance, massive number of trannies mass shooting people at Club Q in Colorado Springs, the massacre there where a brave heterosexual U.S. Army officer happened to be there at Club Q, the gay club in Colorado Springs, because he was escorting his daughter because his daughter's friend was playing in the band at the gay club. So the Army officer charged the gunman, who was a tranny, shooting people up at a gay club in Colorado Springs, and he brought an end to the massacre there, but not before I think 6 people were killed and 14 more were wounded. The Uvalde shooter, tranny. Honestly, the list goes on and on. A young girl, high school girl, turned in her brother in Colorado Springs, a tranny, who had plans and drawings of 3 schools and the guns and the ammo, and he was on his way to go shoot up 3 schools because this happens a lot. And the list goes on and on, but it's only a 3-hour radio show. The Nashville Christian School gun woman, Audrey Hale, a young woman, said that she was a man, went in and killed 3 kids and 3 adults and then killed herself, but she would say killed himself. Mika Brzezinski with Mayor Fry.
So what is the action that you think politicians need to take in light of what has happened here and what happens in schools and public areas across the country right now? Mass shootings are an almost daily occurrence.
No, they're not.
I'm a mayor, and I operate in the reality business.
You do?
And the reality is that we have more guns in America than we have people.
What are you going to do about it was the question. So you observed a statistic. That's not actually doing anything about it. Now, listen to how stupid this man is. He knows absolutely nothing about firearms. He says that these rifles can, rail off 30 clips in conjunction with a magazine or something.
The reality is that we have these assault rifles that can reel off 30 clips in conjunction with a magazine before the person even needs to reload.
I don't think he knows what a bullet is. The man is. And these people, they come out very proudly and bravely declare their stupidity in public. Just amazing. And so I'm sorry, I can't even make sense of what he tried to say there. And rail off 30 clips in conjunction with a magazine or something. The ignorance just flows off of him.
Look, we need an assault weapons ban nationwide.
We've done that.
We need to have this high-capacity magazine ban. And finally, if the federal government isn't going to act or states aren't going to act, give us the ability to protect our constituents at home. Give mayors and council members the ability to protect in Minneapolis, 435,000 residents that call Minneapolis home and the many more that come and go.
Most of them should leave, probably, if they had any common sense at this point. You guys burned the city down over George Floyd, and you're the first lady of the state opened her windows to smell the city burning because she loved the smell of the burning city. By the way, in Washington, D.C., they've banned everything that he says he wants to ban. In Chicago, they banned everything that he says he wants to ban. In a great many cities and states around the country, they banned a great many of the things that he says he wants to ban. We had a nationwide ban on what he calls assault weapons, but he couldn't tell you what an assault weapon is, quite obviously. He's a profoundly ignorant, arrogant, smug, self-righteous leftist, a Democrat. And I've got more of him and the rest of them coming up, and a woman that you really need to hear who used to help kids go tranny and doesn't anymore. Hey, I want to talk to you about living a better digital life. The internet, your phone, your laptop, your iPad, your desktop, all that with one of our newest partners, WebRoot. I chose WebRoot because of WebRoot's Total Protection product. WebRoot's all-in-one package offers a plan of options. They've got options for you, individual options where we'll cover up to 5 devices for you and you alone, up to 10 devices with the family package, and they've got you covered no matter what. because WebRoot's coverage includes antivirus protection, identity theft protection, VPN backup, and more. You don't need to be an adult or a kid. They've got you covered no matter what. Toddlers are using iPads and phones, and senior citizens with their laptops and desktops. WebRoot allows my best girl and I to live a better digital life, and that's why I want to recommend that you do the same. They've got your kids covered, your parents covered, and right now you get 50% off of WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials plan when you go to webroot.com/plant. That's me. You're going to get 50% off WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials plan when you go to webroot.com/plant. Yes, sir. Yeah, and then, again, keep in mind with these idiot Democrats in Minneapolis, the mayor and the media people, President Trump is trying to fight crime in Washington, D.C., and they are fighting him with every breath that they take. They're fighting for more crime, and then they pretend that they're indignant about a tranny shooting up a Catholic children's mass at a Catholic school.
Assault rifles that can reel off 30 clips in conjunction with a magazine.
Let's go to the telephones, Michael, and you want to stick around and hear the lady that used to make kids go trans and doesn't go transgender and doesn't anymore. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Juan calling from Annandale, Virginia. Juan, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, how's it going? I want to say congratulations on the show. I love the way you tell people how it is, even if they don't like it, the good, the bad, the ugly. So,
yeah, man.
I enjoy the show a lot.
Thanks.
My comment was just on how unfortunate what happened to those kids, and it's just very frustrating to find out. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I would like to say there's some more information that we don't have yet, because yes, there was a transgender or whatever,
right?
But what else don't we know? Apparently he went, or he, she, whatever they want to say he is, he went to that school too.
Yeah, that is maybe. I mentioned that. And apparently his mother worked at the school, but doesn't anymore.
Oh, no, I read, there's an article, I'll shoot an email to you. He is confirmed that went to that school.
Okay. Well, that's an update from this morning, which I don't doubt it for a moment.
And it's hard to know what is real information and what is not. But from what I read from the article, he did. But why would he go back? And that's just another, I know these transgenders and stuff, they already have a mental illness. But what else? What created it? Sometimes.
Right. Well, the tranny in Nashville attacked the Christian school that she had gone to also. Thank you, Juan. Good call. I'm sorry the clock keeps marching on. I apologize for that. There's more to talk about there, as there so often is. I have a portion of his exhaustive manifesto. He posted a video as well. And it's also true that the New York Times is referring to him as her, because he said, I'm a girl now, and that's good enough for the New York Times. Does he have male genitalia? The New York Times doesn't care. If you say, I'm a girl, then the New York Times says, that's a girl. And the New York Times headline is, Minneapolis suspect knew her target, because he says that he's a she. A sticker in the diary displays LGBTQ and transgender flags with a gun and the slogan, defend equality. See, this is the Democrats have created this fiction that people who say that they're another gender are somehow being victimized by our terrible, mean culture. And that justifies and legitimizes the violence perpetrated by so many on the left over whatever their grievance is. And they are the culture of grievance. And the manifesto and the the whole thing. It's kind of ironic because I Googled New York Times her tranny shooter, and the first one that pops up is from last night. Minneapolis suspect knew her target, but motive is a mystery. And then from March 27th of 2023, the New York Times, the Nashville school shooter had a manifesto and maps, and that's another tranny. Another tranny murderous attack, murdered 3 students and 3 adults at the Christian school in Nashville. That was another transgender psycho lunatic. And the New York Times says officials use she and her to refer to the shooter. That's because it was a woman who said she was a man. And in this case, we have a man who said he's a woman. And all of this is propagated and promoted and pushed by the Democrat Party everywhere you look. Also, got a Texas show debunking 3 viral rumors about the Texas shooting, another tranny. And they said, well, maybe tranny, maybe not tranny in that one. The Democrat Party did this. Not so long ago, none of this was a part of any discussion anywhere till the Democrat Party started promoting it. And they've been targeting children. The younger the children, the more the Democrats want to target them. They are quite amazing. Now, let's get back to some audio. Let's see, where did we just amazing. Did we play number 21? Did we play number 21 of the Democrat mayor of Minneapolis saying prayer doesn't work? But that's not 21. Did we play 21? Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, okay, then we've not played 23. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah, number 23. Back to MSDNC and my erstwhile friend, Michael Steele, who used to be a Republican and used to have a lot of common sense. He was the Republican lieutenant governor of Maryland. And then he went to work at MS-13 DNC, and now he doesn't make any sense at all anymore. I kind of feel sorry for him. Something terrible has happened to his brain. But on MSDNC, this was all the talk. Mocking prayer after a mass shooting at a Catholic mass at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I agree with the mayor. I'm not the thoughts and prayers. I'm so beyond that nonsense.
So beyond that nonsense. The lie of that.
Because what we have are people who continue to stand in the way of actually doing something to stop the violence against their own kids.
Against their own kids, care very deeply about kids, and funding 1 million abortions a year because they care very deeply about kids because they love their organs and they harvest them. Isn't that amazing? Man, I'm telling you. Now we haven't gotten to number 1 and the police and the immediate aftermath of the events at the Annunciation Catholic School and Catholic Church. The children of their first mass of the semester, just back to school on Monday, unlike what Al Sharpton said, because he gets absolutely everything wrong. But here's the chief of police, who's Brian O'Hara. They call him Chief O'Hara, like Batman, but Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
During the mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building.
Not a gun woman.
And began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children.
Yeah, that I think is unambiguous. Chief O'Hara.
The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
They started the press conference at noon yesterday, the bells from the church ringing at noon.
Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews.
Now, the police were incredibly, remarkably, and welcome, honest, and straightforward, and getting the information out quickly rather than playing games and waiting for reports to come out a month from now. Chief Brian O'Hara.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
Yeah, I would say the anti-Israel, 6 million Jews killed, not enough, killed Donald Trump, all the Democrat Party talking points, and our news media is just so horrible. But the police, I think, were great, and the police chief was great. The people at ABC Fake News, do you have that Aaron Katersky? Because Aaron Katersky on ABC Fake News, the network news broadcast, now they knew, they had seen the photographs, we had all seen the photographs of the rifle onto which he wrote, "Kill Donald Trump," the manifesto and his magazines for ammunition, and so on. He wrote, "Israel must fall, 6 million wasn't enough, killing the Jews." These are Democrat Party talking points in 2025. Burn Israel. Kill Trump now, and separately kill Donald Trump. Say, I kill Trump now, kill Donald Trump. And then this is what ABC, if you get your news from ABC News, this is what you got from Aaron Katersky, who left out all of the key elements of what we learned from the photographs, from the manifesto, from the firearms, written on the firearms and the magazines. ABC News and Aaron Katersky left out all of the kill Donald Trump, kill Trump now, burn Israel, 6 million wasn't enough, Israel must fall, left all that out.
There are crude diagrams of the church. There are also photos of the weapons, and they include all sorts of writings, the names of past mass shooters, criticism of Israel, the name of President Trump written on the guns. There are also racial slurs, nihilistic statements, all painting the picture of a disturbed individual.
And they don't mention that he's transgender, do they? And the whole trend. And criticism of Israel. I would say burn Israel, Israel must fall, 6 million wasn't enough. I think, yeah, that's criticism, I guess. And they mentioned Donald Trump's name. They mentioned Donald Trump's name. Yeah, when he said kill Donald Trump, kill Trump now on two different statements. Mention Donald Trump's name is all you get from ABC Fake News, because they don't report the news. They're not on the side of journalism. They're on the side of the Democrat Party, which is on the side of transgender killers. And there are a great many of them that have committed mass murders and mass shootings in the United States. Now, I've got to play this for you before I get to the nice lady that used to convert children from boy to girl and girl to boy, and then she gave up on that. And she's an LGBTQ sandwich herself, but never mind that. There was a kid there that spoke to a camera, a news camera, I guess, after the incident. And this kid is probably 9 years old, maybe 10 years old. He's a good looking, looks like an Irish kid or a German Irish kid. And he's got red hair, shock of red hair. And he's a short little kid. And he had just come out of the church where the shooting had happened, where he was in the middle of prayer, his third day of school. And the shooting started and his buddy jumped on top of him. And I want you to listen to this kid. His name is Weston Halsney. And I want this kid to run for president the moment he's eligible. He's calm, cool, collected, focused. He speaks well. He's unfazed by the whole thing. He's like, yeah, it was scary, but he's over it now, and he's ready to go do something else. This is a fifth grade student at Annunciation who was in the mass in the church for the shooting and was nearly killed by the transgender Democrat psychopath that hates Christianity and Christendom and Catholicism and mass and church and stained glass windows and children. And his parents helped him to do this, become a tranny. So here's fifth grader Weston Halsney.
It was like the shots fired, and then we kind of got under the pews. It kind of they shot through the the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary.
What did you do after that?
Well, we waited like 10 to 5 minutes. I don't really know. And then we went to the gym, and then the doors locked just to make sure he didn't come.
Just to make sure he didn't come. And listen to him. He's he's not hysterical. He's not crying. He's focused, and he's speaking to an adult and telling what happened. And listen, he tells his buddy, his friend in school, is like Audie Murphy over here. He's going for the Medal of Honor. The kid is. Here's young Weston.
We waited in the gym for more news, and everyone was okay. Or most people were okay.
Who are your friend, Wes?
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay. And there are two adults asking him, and the kid is focused. He speaks very well. Young Weston.
Well, we just got into Mass, and it was like 3 minutes after. It was very scary. It was like my friend got shot in the back. He's in the hospital right now. My friend Victor, he was like laying on top of me, like making sure I was safe, and he got hit. So that was really brave of him. Victor gets the Medal of Honor. Victor, these kids are the greatest kids I've ever seen in a situation like this. And the kid, Weston, he's got a bit of blood on the left side of his neck. And it looks like maybe a BB hit him or something. And listen to the kid, because one of the adults says, "Hey, you got some blood on your neck. What's going on with that?" And he's like, "I'm walking it off."
And you have a nick on your neck?
Yeah, I don't even know what it's from. Kind of looks like debris or something.
But that came from during this?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You seem pretty put together here, but it's got to be tough.
Yeah, I'm just like confused kind of, because I never thought it would happen.
The kid is so together, so well-spoken, and calm, cool and collected, focused, articulate. Is it racist to say he's articulate? He's articulate, and just what a great kid. I was watching this kid yesterday afternoon. I was saying, I love this guy. What a great kid. Just remarkable. All right, let's see. Let's go to the phones, Mike. Let's go to Mark calling from Independence, Missouri. Harry Truman land. Mark, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, thanks, Chris. This may be a little touchy, but I noticed that the mother of the shooter was working at the Catholic school when she approved Robert to become Robin. And my point is, I'm Catholic myself, but I think our Catholic Church has maybe taken this idea of tolerance a little bit too far, as Archbishop Sheen warned about back in the 50s. And they seem to tolerate everything. The bishops really don't teach the Catholic Church teaching on transgenderism. It's considered sinful and wrong. But I'm not even sure if this mother knew that. It just seems to be everything is kind of lukewarm now. And the Catholic Church used to be like the moral compass of society back in the 50s on before that, but now it's just kind of blended in. And I'm not necessarily blaming the Catholic Church, obviously, for this, but the teaching really isn't clear anymore. The transgenderism is wrong. And this kid was really messed up. And I don't know, like you say, we're not sure if he actually went to that school. And it sounds like the kid you just presented was really well taught and everything.
Yeah.
But I think that, there's just not real clear teaching. I've never heard a Catholic bishop come out and speak against transgenderism. I mean, you have to be accepting and we have to be tolerant. And like I say, Bishop Sheen warned against tolerance over truth. And I'm not saying that's a factor, but I just wish they would get back to being more clear in their teaching. That could help society overall, because everybody's confused right now. There's really no clear teaching from anyone. It's one big mess right now.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you completely, and I think you're 100% right. And moral clarity is something that has been abolished, dare I say, by the left and the Democrat Party in the name of progressivism and open-mindedness. And you're right, the church is supposed to stand up for morality and also for science and biology and for common sense and you use the word truth, Mark, and I'm with you 100%. And if the Catholic Church is not leading on these matters, then who is leading on these matters?
Yes, it seems they've drifted away from that, and they want to be liked. And I'm not saying that they have to be mean or anything. They can present truth with charity, as they're called to do. But it seems it's kind of frustrating now that you get very few bishops who will speak the truth. I even heard some of them come out and do just the Democrats. They blame the guns, and and I'm not saying they should have just started hammering on transgenders, but I'm saying the overall teaching is. I've never heard of anybody speak against transgenderism in the church or teach that it is wrong.
Right. I've got a friend, my friend Maureen was texting this morning. She said that her priest does speak openly against this practice, this trend. And you're 100% right, Mark. You shouldn't be shy about anything that you said. You're 100% right. Morality is under attack in the United States. We know who's doing it, and we need to stand up and speak the truth. All right, let's go back to the telephones real quick. We don't have a ton of time, but let's go to David calling from Chantilly, Virginia. David, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Chris, man, how you doing? It's been a while. Hey, I wanted to just get it out there because I know I'm limited on time. Let's get this down to local politics. Fairfax County has a local, I believe it's to replace Conley. We got to vote Republican. We got to get, if Spamberger walks into the office and replaces Youngkin, bad news. We have an awesome Lieutenant Governor, Winston Sears, Marine Corps. She knows that you don't call a magazine a clip.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, let's go, man. I mean, this is so easy. And, all the...
And Stuart Whitson. Again, Stuart Whitson is the Republican running for the Connolly seat, and Stuart Whitson is great, an Army officer, a great American, and you can vote early and vote for him now.